All right, perfect. Here we go. All right, so as I already said, welcome everyone to our business opportunity, which is provided by SkyWay Invest Group. Today is the 30th of May 2017, so we are nearly into official summertime. And I'm welcoming everyone who is here first time. I'm really glad we are growing on a weekly basis or even a daily basis. So my name is Annette Martinson, and I'm operating or working within the company since last August. I mean, on a fully base, 100% of my time I'm spending here. But I'm in the business already since 3 years already since the company started to go into the process of development. And from my previous experience, I've been involved in a corporate business where I was organizing big massive conferences for C-level executives. So today I'm more involved in the marketing and sales side, where I'm kind of applying my skills, which is the sales and business management. And also, the first instance, I joined the company as a private investor. So I believed in the idea and the vision, and I become, the technology co-owner as well. And obviously, this is the reason why I'm here today, because I want to share my experience and my, the vision or company's vision with you guys, and hopefully it will kind of give you a better picture of, why you were invited to this webinar, or why someone wanted to give you this opportunity or share the opportunity. Here we have global challenges, or as I'm calling it, global disasters, because it doesn't matter which part of the world you live or you to travel to, you will face any or many of the situations. Whether those going to be road accidents, roadworks, traffics, public transport, cancellations and delays, overcrowded platforms, and people, trying to get on train and pushing you away. Same time, air pollution, water pollution that also is caused by, today's transport industry. And not only, obviously, there are factories that also, producing different materials and everything that they're burning, it goes into the air. And nevertheless, someone is controlling it, and we are paying for this, for these type of services, a high price, fare for your journey to get from point A to point B. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel very upset because the amount of money that we are spending for the services, we are not receiving the service that we want to receive, right? I don't know, like, can you relate, to where you live, to any of the situations? For example, I'm very rarely driving a car because I prefer to use the train, kinda. So not to sit on the traffic for 2 hours, but get the train for 40 minutes. However, sometimes I have to be squeezed in a train and not being able to even have a sit that, for the whole journey. I don't know how you feel about it, but I definitely feel very upset, and I don't think it's fair. And what the government is doing, the government is still investing a huge amount of money from you guys, those who are paying the taxes. They are, investing in infrastructure that is very old already. It's outdated. And available transport today, we have ships, we have planes, we have cars, we have cargo trains, tubes, high-speed trains, and all of this, it's very old dated transport. Look how big damage they are causing to our environment, all with the metal, taking down all the trees, the oxygen that we are breathing, or, the big massive ships, and God knows what oil and anything else goes into water. And we are eating those fishes the fish that lives in the water, right? Or the cargo, the massive cargo trains. They're very noisy, very heavy metal. And again, the air and eco-friendliness. What about these kind of questions, the concerns that everyone is facing? And this is our planet. And the government, unfortunately, don't understand that there's something needs to be changed, and we need to educate those people, and we need to open their eyes and mind to show them that there is something else out there. And you might think, how I or how you can be in help. Well, I will tell you how. There is one person that definitely needs your support, and his name is Mr. Andre Habrato. Mr. Unitsky. Unitsky, who has created a Unitsky string transfer technology, or in other words, you can see UST in a short version. So, Mr. Unitsky, he is designer. He is the how people call him Elon Musk in Belarus. He is as smart as this person. If you haven't heard about Mr. Unitsky so far, but you've heard about Elon Musk, so we can compare each other as being the same kind of person with the same mindset, with the same kind of vision, what problems we are causing today and what's going to happen down the line, whether 10 years or 20 years or even 100 years, from now on. Mr. Unitsky definitely saw that there is going to be a big overpopulation on our planet, and each household will have 2 or 3 cars. I don't know how about you, but in my house I have 3 cars. All right, in other families maybe have 2 or 1, but what I'm trying to say is there are more cars than I think people on the planet, or it's very close to. Okay, sorry, Dr. Patel says that there is a voice problem. Can someone else tell me if there is a problem with the sound? Because it should not be any problems. But if anyone else can confirm that there is, well, no one is saying that to me. Mr. Patel, maybe you can kind of leave the webinar and come back, and then maybe it's going to be better situation. All right. So Mr. Unitsky been working for this project for more than 40 years, and how I see himself is that young person with flying trains was not taken seriously. That's why it took him such a long time to get where he is today, and I will come back to that bit later. But what I want to say is, you can definitely read about this person on his personal blog, which is here, unitsky.com, and you will see all his awards and numerous of certifications. You will see more than 100 patent numbers, which you can check on a patent scope. You will see all his work from 1963, I think, if I'm not misleading. You can read about him like completely. There is everything about him, about like the vision, and there's a beautiful video. It's quite long, but it will give you an understanding more why he's so passionate about this transport. And Unitsky string transport system, it hasn't been done so far like previously. We have similar DLR kind of system, but it's more upgraded, and I will come back to that as well a bit later. The only problem that Mr. Unitsky was facing was funds, lack of funds, and unfortunately, that was the problem for him to get, to make his dream to come true much faster. He was approached by banks and obviously investors, big investors, but all they wanted, whether like a big percentage to be paid back, or the investors wanted to have a big portion of his company. But ask yourself, if you work for something for such a long time, would you be happy to give more than 50% to some stranger just purely because he is giving you the money? You would not. Well, I wouldn't. And Mr. Unitsky didn't do as well. He said, you know what, I have a time, I will find a way, the one that suits him and the whole world. So the other person I want to introduce or to be familiar with is Andre Havrato. He is a millionaire, a businessman, a very bright person, very knowledgeable person in traditional and not traditional businesses. And I trust him, not even meeting him yet, but I trust him, and from work I've seen, from what he's doing, the way he's doing, I see that, there is no greedy person behind this, this project, or trying to get something just for him. He is actually trying to change the system, to break the system that we have today. And one of the systems he's teaching is about the education. He's giving you the education um, and the importance of financial investment, the world. So SkyWay Invest Group, the platform he created is an educational investment portal and also the trademark of Royal SkyWay system. Mr. Havrato been involved in not traditional businesses, investment world, and etc. And he therefore created Academy of Private Investor in Ukraine. But unfortunately, because of the language barrier, he speaks only in Russian. He was able to approach only a very limited group of people. But he wanted to give more. He wanted to go and approach everyone in the world to show them, that there is a different system to what we were told at school. And to be honest, I was speaking to one freshly graduated, student who was learning about the trading and the broker kind of services or whatever. Like, and I asked him, like, did they teach you also how to make the money work for you, or they were teaching you to make the money for someone else? And he was like smiling. He was like, you know what? Exactly. They told us, how to go and apply for good company or bank, where to make the money for them, but not how to make the money work for them, for those people. So here we are trying to break the system and show people that there is an opportunity, even with a small amount of money, to get in your bank account a big chunk of money, and only if you know how to do that. And this is what we are teaching in SkyWay Invest Group. So Mr. Havrato approached Mr. Unitsky a couple of years ago, and 3 years ago they signed a partnership agreement between those two companies, because Mr. Havrato understood his challenge and he understood the business. He saw much further to what this company can do, and he said to Mr. Unitsky, "Why don't you create this project as a people project? Forget about big investors, forget about hedge funds, at least at that stage when they started, because all they wanted is a greedy, portion from Unitsky." And therefore, Havrato kind of offered him to make this project as a people project, approach anyone else around the world with different backgrounds, with different financial situation, and raise the money through crowdfunding. He said, like, it's not necessary that you need to go with for the rest of the whole project, but at least that gives you a Kickstarter, for to start building the project. And to be honest, what we have done so far, it's amazing, and it's all with people support. We have more than 300,000 people supporting the project today. So they have signed agreement for 20 years, so 17 years more to go. And here is a little insight about the technology, what I'm talking about, so you can understand, what's this all about. All right, I hope that gave you a little bit more a better picture what I'm talking about. So, what is there so unique about the Skyway? So many people have asked me that by saying, there are so many trains all around the world. There's Hyperloop, there's magnetic levitation train, and etc. And then I'm going into little more detailed information about what we have. Let's start with the Unibike. Unibike is our very little baby project, as I call it, because it's designed for parks where people can enjoy the beautiful view from, let's say, 3 to 6 meters above the ground. I know, for example, because I'm living in London, we have beautiful parks such as Green Park, Hyde Park, Regent's Park. But I've been, going around there so many times. However, I believe that the view from the top could be even more beautiful because there was an opportunity wintertime to go when I'm kind of on this rut or wheel, how you call it, and I saw the view from the top, and it was beautiful. So I can imagine this Unibike can be a very nice romantic ride around the park with your person, or just have a fun because it also. Designed for kind of entertainment and sport activity, because in the bus on the front of the cargo we have implemented the like a pedaling, so people can do some sport activities and increase the total amount, the maximum speed. It can go up to 120 kilometers an hour, but who would like to go for a romantic ride with such a high speed? This particular train is already on rails and is going through the first testings, which were completed successfully. I think the maximum speed already been reached 100 kilometers an hour. But this particular transport will have the first, the technical documentation, the transportation documentation already by 1st of July. So we will be able to sell this particular Unibike to any part of the world, to any government, or with a legal paper, because it's going to be proved or proven as being safe to use for public, for people. The other one is a SkyWay Unibus, or inner city train, or city train, as you call it. It's designed for short distances, up to 200 kilometers, with the speed up to 150 kilometers an hour. It can be mounted and suspended depending on the project and the environment, and also can be implemented above the ground from 3 to 6 to 10 meters, or even higher if needed. This transport is also already on a truck on the rails, and also have reached speed 100 kilometers an hour. Unibus, same as Unibike, will have the first test certifications and documentations by 1st of July. So this is very exciting because those two projects or transportation technologies are the most popular at the moment. And it's very exciting for us because we have several countries that are already interested to go and build this. But I will come back to this later. Then we have SkyWay Cargo. So the cargo is for corporates that wants to trade or trading their goods between the countries or the regions. Let's say in America, in Africa, south of Africa, they have coffee beans, and they are not able to trade those coffee beans within the the region, within between the country. They have to trade it with China because there is a transport or the cargo, let's say a ship, that can take the goods from A to B. But within the African region, they don't have a transport that could be easy, fast, and cheap to implement. It's very, very expensive. They've actually told us that to maintain the bus and create the bus lines is more expensive than our train, and I will come back to that later as well. So the cargo also can be mounted and suspended, and the speed can go up to 500 kilometers an hour. Obviously, it depends on how heavy is the cargo. All right, and from this picture, it's also very nicely shown that one truck can be used for two purposes at the same time. So on the top can go high-speed train, and the bottom can be Unibus, or the high-speed train and the cargo. All right. And the last transport technology that we have is a SkyWay high-speed train. This train can go up to 10,000 kilometers, like as a distance, so we can connect countries, regions, cities, and actually the continent in the future as well. And the speed can go up to 500 kilometers an hour. I think it's a nice, alternative transport to what we have today. Because personally, me, I don't like planes. I don't know how about you, but I prefer, these days we don't have any other alternative apart from, taking a train or car, but that would take so much time to get to where you want to go. So the planes are the best, fastest alternative transport to choose. But the Skyway high-speed train can solve this particular gap, and we might be traveling, with the greatest speed, not losing connections with the world, which I think for me or for like other people that I know is the most important. Even though they have some Wi-Fi's in some planes, I still prefer to stay on the ground. So summary. So we have four types of technologies, as I call it, four case scenarios. Let's say one country doesn't want to go for high speed, but they like cargo, or let's say Africa, they need cargo, but they don't need so much high speed train. So we can adjust our transport and our project to every country, every region that we go in, and we can offer whatever solution they need. And the best thing is the biggest, like I said, in advantages, from point of advantages, we are not damaging environment, at least as not as much as the current transport, because everything is built above the ground on rail thin technology. So we are putting like pillars or like supporters, how people call it, and it's very small land acquisition per kilometer. I think it was 0.1 hectare per kilometer, so it's 3 by 3 meters. The column. And the distance between each those supporters can be from few meters to couple kilometers, right? It depends again within the environment and where we are trying to build, and etc. The other good thing is, because we are not digging new roads, and we don't need to make a massive land acquisition. We are also cheaper. If you look at the current transportation systems that are out there, they are taking so much, space on the ground. Therefore, they need to pay a lot of money to those people who owns the land, right? Or they need to rent it, or they need to buy off, and that increases the cost per project. Where our transport doesn't need it. So let's compare. Traditional transport costs 40 to 50 million per kilometer. Our transport would cost 3 to 8 million per kilometer. The average is 5 million. Such a big difference, but such a kind of small difference or big difference, but such a huge, the difference in what we can do with that. And one more good thing is that Unibike and Skyway urban transport is not using fuel. It's powered by electricity or the solar panels. I don't know where you live, guys. Maybe in some very sunny place. Obviously, the solar panels would work very well. In London, I'm not too sure. All right, and the high-speed train and the cargo. We are using like a hybrid technology, but instead of using energy and then going to fuel, we're using the fuel, push the train to a certain speed, and then we're changing to energy, electric powered generator. And hopefully in the very, very near future, also the cargo and high speed train will be able to be powered by, solar panels and energy, and they won't need to use the fuel. So in terms of, eco-friendliness, we are more eco-friendlier than any other transport out there today, apart from bicycle. All right. And the biggest advantage for us is that we can be built anywhere. If other transports today need a flat ground, we don't. We can be built in deserts, mounted areas, plus 100 Celsius, like high temperature, plus 100 and minus 50. It won't be damaged because, as you know, that currently, if you build like a new road, because of the water, temperature changes and everything, the roads are damaged within the 2 to 3 years, and they have to do it like redo it again. Our transport, once it's built, it stays there for 100 years. Okay, I think that's the best thing. And obviously, as I said, we can be built in water, jungles, 90 degrees up, basically anywhere. Can you put pluses or minuses that you, at the moment, you understand everything that I'm talking about, and it's a bit better an understanding of the technology. So I know you guys with me. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Good. Thank you. All right. So here is a path in today. When I joined the company, it was 3 years ago, and I didn't have even such a beautiful pictures as you have it here. On the left hand side, you have more like digital pictures, and on the right hand side goes the same transport but the real picture. Then again, the unibus digital, and the real transport. And those both two transport, I was sitting myself, and I have some pictures, and I tested. It's beautiful. It's very comfortable. It's very like futuristic, but at the same time, it's the same thing. You still have a chair to sit down. You have still windows and doors. Everything is perfect for me, at least. And then we have the station on the picture and the reality, and then we have the kind of a body, not a bodyguard, but oh my gosh, the security, kind of the wall that protects our land. Because before, when Mr. Yunitsky tried to build this transportation, it was destroyed in 2001 when he was building it. He built 150 meters of the track, and there was a special, the car that was specifically adjusted with a specific rail wheels to go and test if those rails that he built can hold the weight, and everything was successfully, obviously, tested. However, some people didn't like it and destroyed the area. So today we do have a special high voltage kind of wall where even the car would not be able to go through. For animals, it's very safe because it makes some noise and they are scared away, so they would not be injured. And here is today and the future. All right, so as I said, Unipark and Unibus is already up and running, and it's going through the first testings. And by 1st of July, when all of us are going to go to EcoFest, and we'll come back to that later, you will be able to witness yourself with your eyes that the technology is there, the tangible product, and it's not just the pictures. And you, as I said, so might think very beautiful digital pictures, but here's a little short video to show you what's done so far.
Right now, we are creating the transport of the future, fast, safe, eco-friendly, and affordable. Every day brings us closer to the introduction of a new transport philosophy, a new vision, a new technological mode called SkyWay. There are 15 stages in the development of SkyWay. A stage is a set of actions and measures aimed at developing and establishing the technology as a whole. The change of a stage implies the completion of the entire scope of work and achievement of planned targets set by the company developer. Work on the implementation of the SkyWay Transport project was launched in 2014, which corresponds to the first stage. Since then, the technology has advanced to the 8th stage, which ends on the 8th of March 2017. What do we remember about the passing stage 8? At the end of November 2016, on the territory of the SkyWay test site, the Eco Technopark, we started performance trials of the rolling stock. A unibike covered its first SkyWay kilometers. Along with the performance trials of rolling stock, the SkyWay transport certification procedure entered its final stage. In December 2016, the SkyWay project designing company concluded a number of agreements with scientific institutions on the Skyway Transport Certification. At the 8th stage, construction work at the Skyway Testing and Certification Center approached the home straight. Government authorities allocated land for the construction of the 16-kilometer high-speed section of the track where Skyway rolling stock would be able to reach speeds up to 500 kilometers an hour. The outgoing stage is characterized by the growth of the SkyWay Technology image and commercial interest in it on the international arena. Representatives of Russia, Turkey, the Philippines, India, Australia and Canada visited the SkyWay Eco Technopark and workshops of the pilot production facility. A number of documents on cooperation have already been signed, new areas of partnership opened, and new projects on targeted construction are being discussed. What awaits us at the 9th stage? Continuation of work in all areas of construction at the Eco Technopark, extension of pilot production facility and the staff of designers, creation of new rolling stock models, completion of construction, testing and certification of the section for the lightweight urban track. Join the Skyway team. Together, we will be able to change this world for the better.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Actually, this video was taken the moment we changed from stage 8 to 9, and whatever they promised on a video, the things that needs to be done, it's almost done. And we are going to move to stage 10, but that's a business plan. I'll explain that in the details as well. And here is one more little comparison to competitor analysis to other transports that are out there. As I said to you, whenever I kind of tell my people, there is a new transportation system coming up, they straight away comes back to me, oh, there is a hyperloop of magnetic levitation train. But then I'm showing this competitor analysis, and I'm kind of explaining them and showing the value or the the difference to what we are doing here today, comparing to other transports. So the Skyway, magnetic levitation, hyperloop, and Skytron. If we can compare the speed, safety, cost per kilometer, eco-friendliness, and adaptability, we can see that all 4 technologies, all types of transport, have passed. The best thing that we are, I guess, concerned is the eco-friendly. All of us have ticked the box, and well done to us. If we are talking about the speed, then yes, maybe the high Skyway transport cannot reach like 1,000 kilometers an hour, 1,300 as Hyperloop is promising. But I believe the 500 kilometers an hour is still a great speed for us to move from point A to B. For example, if I take Scotland to London, there is a 750 kilometers approximately, like a journey. With the current transport, with the train that we have, I think you would be able to make the journey within the 5 hours, and the train or plane, okay, it's like less than 2 hours, but everything is very costly. Where with the Skyway, you would pay maybe $5, and you would make the journey within the 1.5 hour. Magnetic levitation train also is 600 kilometers an hour. But it's a very heavy train, very noisy train. If you watch the videos, you can see that the train is making such a massive, big noise that you can't cope with that. And especially with the busy cities, where we have a lot of people. But it's still kind of good in a part of the, in terms of safety, same as the Skytron. The Skytron is very much designed only for inner city, for the city, not so much about the connecting the cities or the regions, or with the long distances. But therefore also, therefore it costs also just approximately 6 million per kilometer, same as ours cost 3 to 8 million per kilometer, as I mentioned before. Magnetic levitation and hyperloop, unfortunately, it's like 10 times, because 8 times more to what we can offer. It's more than $100 million dollars per kilometer. I think it's a ridiculous amount of money. And for those who maybe have heard about Hages 2 project here in the UK, they want to spend 56 billion pounds, building only 500 kilometers. So I calculated it would be also approximately 120 million pounds per kilometer, and that's not even the final cost. The costs were going to go up because they need to build, like they need to dig new roads, they need to pay people to leave the houses, and so it's crazy. But again, if we are looking at where we can be built, again, we are on top one because we can be built in sea, mountains, jungles, deserts, rivers, oceans in the future, where the magnetic levitation hyperloop, they need a flat ground. And the other thing is, as I said, we have four types of technologies comparing to magnetic levitation and now hyperloop. So I think that's a good comparison. We can go and dig deeper. What else we can compare. But I think these are the most important facts that you need to look at if you want to invest, for example, in hyperloop or Skyway, or just support it. And then the idea, what Andrei Kavaratov had in mind, he has created this in reality. So crowdfunding is a platform where you can approach any people from any part of the world with your idea, and instead of going to one or two big investors, you're approaching, the ordinary people and allowing them to be part of something big. There is no such a project out there that would be offering what we offer today. So you need to look at this as a not traditional business, and this is how we are speaking to other investors or people who want to support the project, because for some people this is like how can you do this? But why not? Why, you can raise the money for, I don't know, some silly things, the Google glasses, or some new mouse, computer mouse, or whatever. Why can't you go and ask people to chip in that kind of business, knowing the transport that people will be using, in the future, and not just these people, like this generation, but the next generation and the next generation. This is kind of living in the legacy, because the transport we're using today, it's been built 200, 300 years ago, and the transport that they want to build is very expensive. And even if you want to support Hyperloop, no one's going to give you the opportunity unless you are the qualified investor with millions in your bank account. That's the reason why big investors, like rich people, become richer, but ordinary people cannot get to that level because they're purely law that is written by rich people for us not to get where they are, unless you are very lucky. But I believe that today, people who are here today, and myself 3 years ago, I was lucky because my friend introduced me to this business. And Eco Techno Park is a main company, or the main project, which needs the investment. As I said to you before, Unitsky had a lack of funds to build and prove the technology is actually safe and it can be built anywhere. So we are raising today $200 million to build all this 36-hectare land project, which is given by the government in Belarus, in Minsk. And today we have, so here we want to build like high-speed train, as you can see here. Actually, it's 40 hectare land already, because for the high-speed train, with the amount that they gave, the amount of land that they gave us, we would not be able to reach the maximum speed, which is 500 kilometers an hour. So therefore, they gave us a bit more land, to reach it. This transport high-speed train they will start building it by the end of the year. Then we have built like Unibus here, and then we have Unibike station here, and then we have the cargo. And to be honest, it was a big surprise, but cargo is also halfway ready, which will also be showcased on the 1st of July. So this is the kind of a baby project for us, but without this project, nothing would happen. Because as I tell to people, when people ask me, oh, can I see this project somewhere else already built? I'm saying, who's going to sign the contract? Or would you buy, let's say, a car, like a new Audi car, I don't know, 2018, but they will tell you about the features, the advantages, and everything else, but the car is not built yet. Would you go and give your money, and buy the car before it's actually built and tested? You would not. Same about the planes or the ships. No one is going to go and buy it before it's tested. So we needed this test section creating as a shop where the government representatives, they will be able to go there and see their own eyes that the transport is there, it's actually working, and you can sit in and test it. All right, same as like R&D center and production center and everything is there. So today we have raised $27 million. All right. Initially, Mr. Unitsky needed $300 million by calculation to build all the transport, like all this test section, but because he's not doing whatever what other people do, they normally, traditionally, they would raise the amount they need. Let's say if he needed $300 million, he would be raising this money. It would take him some time, and then he goes and build it. That would take so much time to get to the end result. What Mr. Unitsky have done, he's raising the money, and because he's divided, the project and business plan. Here it is, I think. Oops, sorry. Yeah, here it is. So because he divided this project on a 15 development stages, each stage requires certain things to be done and certain amount of money to be raised. But today, what we have done so far, we would need to have $73 million more to by the calculation, to do what he has done today. So it means he is already decreasing the expenses to build the transport. All right. So with the $27 million, we have built the unibus, unibike, and also the half, the cargo truck, which I think is amazing. And every stage we have completed on time. There, I think, was only one time that we missed the deadline by 2 weeks, but today we're already jumping much faster, to the next stage and to the next stage. And it's not necessary that from stage 9 we need to go to stage 10 or then 11. We can jump from stage 9 to 11 if we want to, because we have enough money, to go and build the transport. All right, and the more closer we get to stage 15, obviously we much closer get to the IPO, which is our exit plan, go public and be, traded on the stock exchange, maybe in London. All right, so going back to the Eco Park, this is the main project that we need to support today. I have supported this transport from, already 3 years ago, and I have become a co-owner of this technology, as well as, shareholder of the main company, which later on gives them, the lifelong dividends. So you can think, whether this is still a risk business for you and you don't want to take a risk, but that's not a risky business. It's a risk, but, whole our life is a risk. So it's up to you whether you want to go and try it and possibly win big, or you can wait, because we're going to have, different targeted projects all around the world where you would be able to support as well separately. And here is the location on the Google Earth. I found this out, I think a month ago or 2 months ago. It was pretty cool because I could put like an Ecotechno Park, Marina Gorka, Minsk, Belarus, and it actually gives you the picture from the sky where the transport is, built, and you can see the pillars there, and we have a lake there as well. So you can check that out. And we also have the ISIN, which is International Security Identification Number. So for those who are supporting us financially today, you would receive the certification, and the certification, you will have the ISIN number, which you can check on this organization. So this is a very popular code and needed for companies and funds that have investors or are seeking to raise capital. So once you support us, however you want to support us, but if it's financially, then you would receive the certification with the stamps and with the signature and with this number. So as I said before, the business Ecotechno Park can be maybe a risk for you because obviously we're still building and testing everything. You can wait for the Ecotechno Park to be finished, and then we have countries like Australia, Russia, Ukraine, Ireland, Belarus, Tanzania, Turkey, Italy, Philippines, Indonesia, just name it. We have those countries in Africa as well, the Ethiopia, that they have acknowledged the project, and once the Ecotechno Park, once each of the project or each of the transport will be tested and certified. These countries are happy to go ahead and actually going forward by signing the contract and telling us where they want to have this transport to be built. The best thing is wherever we go, whichever country we're going to go and sign the contract, we're not going to build the transport ourselves. We are just giving the technical documentation with all the calculation. So, for example, a country like India, they have signed a contract for $922 million, and they want to build 3 targeted projects connecting 19 cities. All right, but we are not going to go and we're not going to build the transport. We're going to be giving the technical documentation where Mr. Unitsky going to go and calculate, and obviously they will have the local R&D center, checking the environment and everything, and then we will kind of give all the numbers that they need, all the information they need, and the local company. Tennessee Engineering, I think, if I'm not misleading, in India, is going to be the local engineering company who is actually going to build, the transport in their region. Same as in Australia. In Australia, Rod Hook, who is ex-chief minister of South of Australia, he loves the project, even though he was very skeptical at the first place. When he first heard about the project, but now he is MD and representative in Australia. So he wants to go and build it in Flinders University, connecting campus in Adelaide City. But again, he's not going to go and build himself, or we're not going to go and build them ourselves. He got partnership with American company, which is the local engineering, biggest engineering company in Australia, in south of Australia. So they want to go. They have some agreement that once the project is confirmed, they can go and build it there. So we are creating jobs for local people. All right. And here is a little inside of signing the MOUs in Dharamshala city and Jakarta. And here on the bottom right, the man in the red colored dress is a Dalai Lama. He has given us the blessing and permission to go and build 12-kilometer road in Dharamshala, which I think is very good way how they can solve the massive overcrowded period, because they have the Dharamshala is very, very popular city, so they have like millions of people coming every year, but the transport is horrible. So they think that this transport can solve their challenge and they can actually bring even more people. So yeah, let's see what's going to go, what step's going to be next. But as I said, all of them are waiting for the technical documentation first. And as I said, Ethiopia is also one of the countries that are interested to go and build it. And my colleague Mila Serdyukova, she's business development director. Maybe you know her. She was traveling to Ethiopia, I think, already a month ago, and she met Minister of Transport, Mayor of Office, Transport Head, local bank CEO to discuss the SkyWay project development. And they were really, really, really interested. She was actually taken to the factory where they could possibly produce all the parts for the transport. There's also some know-how technology that will need to be produced in our facilities in Belarus, but the majority of the whole infrastructure will be produced in a local country. And Ethiopia actually is very happy to produce the transport part for the whole Africa. So, again, we need to wait for the next steps. But Mila said it's been very, very successful, and they're really keen to go and actually meet Mr. Unitsky in Belarus as well. So I think they are going on the 1st of July. And there was another very recent exhibition in Indonesia, which was also very, very successful. And our team from Belarus was there. Some of my people from Europe also attended. And they said, even Indonesia is very keen, to see how they can connect all the Asian countries and, with the trading and the high-speed train and etc. So, yeah. Good news are coming every day, guys. So what's in it for you? That's the best part, I guess. Just to quickly give you an example, successful venture projects or startups Alibaba, Google, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, Amazon, or Apple, I believe that you are familiar with these brands, and I believe you are using one of the brands. Unfortunately, by drinking cola or using Google or using Apple, now right now I'm using Apple Computer, no one gave me any dividend. No one gave me anything. I just need to pay my, the money to get this piece of product. But if you look at the stock exchange today, those shares are, cost a ridiculous amount of money. And people who believed in Coca-Cola or Amazon, Apple, or Facebook, very familiar Facebook, these people are millionaires or not even a billionaires. Only purely because they believed in the vision, they believed in the idea, and they took a risk. It was not risky, it was a risk because the business was in there, it was in place, they knew what they were doing, and they went for it. Today, I don't think that they are regretting. The only person who's regretting is probably the Apple investor. I forgot his name, but he's the biggest, how people call it, loser. Because he sold his shares for the ridiculous less amount of money. Today, he could be a billionaire. So it's up to you guys, to decide how you're going to fill this question mark here, whether it's going to be a Skyway project or some, any other project. It's obviously up to you. I'm just here to tell you the opportunities that I think is, it comes once in a lifetime. Because how many other transports you think they will be building? It's not about creating and putting together another phone or putting together another car. Is the whole transportation infrastructure. All right. So the number one opportunity is to support us financially. First, you can obviously support us. I guess the first opportunity is to support us by just signing up in our back office and saying yes, you want knowledge in the project. Or the other opportunity is obviously to support us, become a co-owner of the technology, and also, the shareholder of the main company, which, as I said, would give you the lifelong dividends once any project around the world will be up and running. So just to give you an idea, educational investment package number 5, it costs $250, all right, which gives you 23,750 pre-IPO equity shares in the package, and the value if the company goes on IPO is $23,750. So it's one share equals $1. But let's imagine that let's imagine that the share would cost $5 or $10. Bigger, like more value will bring up for the company, the better price we can get per share. If you're looking at the EIP 9, if you, for example, want to purchase this educational package for $5,000, you would have 700,000 pre-IPO equity shares in the package, and they equal $700,000 in the future, or maybe 7 million or 70 million. Obviously, we just need to wait at the moment because this is a pre-IPO company. It's a venture project. So right now, for those who are supporting the project, they get the best. I was trying to buy Bitcoin. It cost it already cost 2,000. I know my friend, he was offered to buy like 100 Bitcoins or 1,000 Bitcoins for $100, and he said no. It was like 3 years ago, I think. You can imagine what opportunity was gone for him. So I don't know. This is one of the opportunities, and I think this is a great opportunity. We have also the monthly options. For those who, for example, let's go back. Let's say you want to go for 5,000 or 250. Let's say $250 package, or 5,000 package, but you don't have this amount of money straight away in your bank account. What you can do, these packages are valid till 31st of May, which is till tomorrow, 9:55 p.m. UK time, and you can still purchase monthly packages where you need to pay out in 10 months' time the amount of money that or the amount of shares that you want to buy. So as I said, $250. So you would go. You would need to top up your back office $25 every month, and you would pay out $250. Or let's say you want to go for 5,000, so $500 USD you would need to pay out or top up your back office every month. You can buy two packages at the same time. For those who maybe already have purchased the package, but tomorrow is the last day, and at stage 10, we won't have any more this type of opportunities or options. So you can go ahead and get another package, and pay out in 10 months' time. Even though we're going to move to stage 10, you will be able to pay out because you're kind of allocating or reserving this amount of pre-IPO equity shares. Okay, I hope that's clear. But once you take the package, please, try to pay out, all the 10 months or whatever amount you have to, because if you don't, if you miss one payment, the package will be cancelled and it will be recalculated at that time when you made the last payment. So let's say today, for $250, you can get 23,750 shares. So this is going to be calculated like once or twice or three or five times, to what you would be paying. What happened? To what you will be paying on a monthly basis. And the number two opportunity is actually being more involved in the business. If you see yourself as, I just want to support, but I'm not, like, I have another job or I have another project to be involved in, and you have no time for it, that's fine. But there are people who join the company like that, like myself, and 3 years later, it took a bit too much, I think too long time to realize that I want to be more involved in the project. So there is business opportunities, and we are using word of mouth, and we are telling people, all around the world, all around us, and what we know, and you get reward for it. If you're interested in business opportunities, then obviously you can go back to the person who introduced you for this business presentation today. If not, you can reach out to me and I will explain you. And the last but not least is the Ecotechno Park, as I already mentioned. 1st of July is the greatest event of the spring, called EcoFest. This is an opportunity for all the people who support us today, all the investors, all the people that in some way have helped us to get where we are today. Even the skeptical people or people who don't believe about this, don't believe in this project, they still can go to Ecotechno Park and see their own eyes. Whatever I discussed and described here today is going to be there, apart from high-speed train. But the tickets are very limited. Limited. We have 5,000 tickets released, but I think 4,500 is already gone. So there is a very limited amount of tickets left. Today it costs still $20. In June it's going to be $25, and at the doors, if there are tickets, it's going to be $30 per ticket. And unfortunately, we have 300,000 people supporting the project, but it would not be physically available. Like, there is no such way to get all 300,000 people to attend EcoFest at once. So who is going to be first? That's going to be the lucky one. I have purchased my ticket, so I encourage you to do the same. There is a link where you can do that. All right. And so another promotion for those who are here first time and you haven't joined the company yet, and you are still thinking about the project or whatever you're thinking. You can, let's say you want to join it. So you can go back to the person who introduced you to this presentation, ask him for the registration link, and make a screenshot and type in manually your promo code, which gives you access to two of our guests. So one is 8 Rules of Private Investor. It's an educational material and in a video version, and also 50 pre-IPO equity shares completely for free. This all is available till 31st of May, 29:55 BST time, which is tomorrow. So you still have a time. And the last, stay updated. We have 5 different social medias. I guess those are the ones that we're using these days. So the Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm a I'm trying, and my team is trying to put up as many information as we can. The live updates, activities that's happening, and etc. And you can definitely make some comments or reach out to us if you have any questions. But it's very good platforms to get interact, like to interact with the audience. And I see we are growing every day. So please join us. And thank you for today. My name was Annette Martinson. And if you have any questions, you can find me on Skype. My Skype ID is Annette5 with double I. However, I still encourage you to go back to your person and ask all the necessary questions. If the person cannot answer you, I'm more than happy to help you, because we are one big team with one big goal and result, and we need to go as a one big team, towards it. Yeah, that's it from me today. Now we have questions and answers. No questions? No? All right, guys. Well, if you have no questions for me, then I will say thank you for your attention. I hope you have a good evening or a day if you're somewhere in America. And this webinar will be recorded. I will upload it probably this evening on our YouTube channel, so you can share this information and this video with your friends and families or potential prospects. If you have any questions, go back to your person, or I can be on help with the help for you. All right, thank you so much, and have a good evening. Bye.